Mary. Hi, Mary.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. When I come on, I don't know whether I push and the co-host, whether I push my name or all of our listeners push the button on that. I never know which one to push. I'm on the screen.
Yeah, you're fine. You're live.
You're. I hear you. You're good.
You're live, honey.
I know, but which one am I supposed to push when I come hit the pod beam and
You pressed the right one because you're on.
so I don't have to push anything else?
No.
Nope. I'm the button pusher, figuratively and metaphorically, or
You push my
figuratively
button.
and literally.
You are so correct there. I talked to Rick last night, and he had nine and Brenda were just saying their goodbyes to everybody in Arizona. I'm not sure if he's going to make it on the show because he could be in somewhere on an airplane between Arizona and home, which is Charleston. So I just don't know if he's going to be here.
We'll find out in 1 minute.
It's Travel Tuesday. Let's take flight across the seas.
Well, I'll give you an update here. I did one for sure, which I'm doing right now. 137 or 81. Pretty consistent in the area. And I haven't taken my pill. I have to wait till midday eating and everything beforehand to take all the pills I need to take for this stroke and we can hurt while I'm doing it. And so feeling better. That's right. Health update from the Clayton household. Linda has gotten a clean house from. She had a head to toe exam yesterday after all of her medical issues in the last 6 months, and she's great. So we're ready to rock and roll. We scheduled what normally was the annual holiday thing on Memorial Day. Of course, I was in the hospital. No, we're just getting ready to go on a cruise. I went on a cruise now. And Linda was recovering. So we instead are having a picnic here at the 73 Norman Avenue, Buffalo, New York, where everyone is welcome and invited to come. We produce hot dogs, hamburgers, and barbecue chicken, and the party, the picnic, and so our friends from the Home Collection, the Golden Rule Society, are always invited when we have these programs. We like RSVP, which is Ron Clayton52 at gmail.com or Clayton.Linda at gmail.com. So we have lots of ways to communicate. So how is the Stanley team today? I take it that Mary is tied up on another call. So as we start the Tuesday edition of the Travel and Tuesday, brought to you by Optimize Your Life and the Hope Collection. And of course, we're partnered with the Golden Rule Society, Captain Len Kane, former Top Gun, well, an original Top Gun, former retired Rear Admiral. We're so proud on Fridays when he joins us. Many times he joins us on this call too. We just got back from a trip, a cruise with Captain Len King, where he was honored on the Carnival Freedom ship on our way to Turks and Caicos. They have Carnival Cruises have a special salute to veterans on every cruise, on every ship around the world. And that's one of the reasons why we support them so well. We also are dedicated, and in today's world, they have developed programs to assist neurodivergent children, children that they say are somewhere on the level and scope of needing Kane. And there's Captain Len. He's joined us. Hello, Captain Len.
Hi, hi, hey, welcome aboard. Glad to be here. I'm glad I made it.
Hey, well, me too. It's cool you could join us, and you love to travel. And you just got back from Turks and Caicos. How was the cruise?
It was fabulous. Wonderful, wonderful time. Great weather, great people just servicing, and everybody was being courteous and kind. And it was an honor to be treated not well as they took good care of the Golden Rule Society charity. Made the trip in honor of the charity, helping children, churches, charities nationwide and worldwide. It really is super duper. Oh, I got so many stories to tell, and many of them are true. All in good fun. All in good fun. Happy to be here with you. As always, take good care and soccer to us, please, please, please.
Well, Len, it was such an exciting time. We have not been together for a couple of years, although you came to Buffalo and was a keynote speaker at the Memorial Day service a year ago. In front of thousands, you spoke about and you shared about the kindness campaign, which you have developed, has gone viral. I love to use the word viral. All over the world, kindness has become key words in many promotions and kind of guidance for many companies and organizations. And when you did that, because you are the original Top Gun as a leader, nominee for 5 Nobel Peace Prize, that's why we're so excited. And when you can join us, especially in light that a little over a week ago, you had a little challenge. Somebody cracked your car up and messed it up real bad, and so the car's I guess not replaceable. And so you got to change. You're going back to like when you were an admiral, when you got travel around, you were already escorted and you're always driven around. So you're going back to having that kind of service. I think that's great.
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, with that accident, I'm glad that what happened, that I'm still alive. Scared the stuff out of me because some crazy guy, ran me into behind me and then drove me right into the car in front of me. Wow. And it's still a heap of hurt, but it's getting better slowly on a day-to-day basis. And that's all
Oh,
you
we're
can
just
do.
so glad
Drive
that
safe.
thankful that you made it through
Oh,
that.
yes. So,
Well, Glenn, would you
but,
say travel is a good thing in life?
oh gosh, I've been traveling all my life. Yeah, absolutely. But you got to be safe, courteous, and kind. So, what's new, wonderful, and exciting? Because I know Mary Stanley is doing some wonderful, wonderful things going on with her, her hometown, her home state, with the kids going on. And the expansion is it's just incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be doing yourself a big favor. Be sure that you have a piece of paper and a pencil or pen because we have some wonderful, good gifts for you and yours. And by the way, our Golden Rule Society charity that we be here, and it's going to be 63 years in just another week or two. And we have gifts for everybody. And by the way, all this time that we have been doing the charity work, we're all non paid volunteers and we're not selling anything. But we have gifts for everybody because that's the idea. As we mentioned, 5 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize. And that was in 2014. It was number 2 in the world. And it's just an honor to be doing the busy work of the Lord. I jokingly tell people that he doesn't pay me anything, but I understand his retirement program is out of this world. At least we hope and pray for that, don't we? Uh, excuse that telephone ringing. Somebody else is trying to call me on the other business phone. So, are we still coming through? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. We can hear you.
It comes
Okay.
through loud and clear, Len.
I don't
Uh,
know what that is.
That's
well,
someone trying to call into the show, Len. So
no,
Mary will really pick up on that, I hope.
no, they're calling my other business phone.
Oh, it's
Oh.
your phone on
No,
it.
disregard it. I
See,
can't turn it off because usually my wife Ann takes care of that while I'm on the show. But she's with the doctor this morning, taking good care of her eyeballs. So we're happy for that. Maybe she'll be able to see a bit better than she has, but they're going to take good care of her. And she's in our prayers. And if you wouldn't mind, take a minute, Joe, say something kind about my lovely
Hashu!
Ann. After 66 years together. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, lots of good things going on, and lots of things that are just attention getters, for crying out loud. I don't know if you watched the news yesterday, but the little up in Los Angeles, which is only about maybe 100 miles north of us here in Coronado, California, they had just terrible things going on, people fighting and carrying on for 3 hours. The people are out of control. And we said, this is supposed to be a nice, nice place. And I hope that they get it resolved because they said that the president's going to have to send some Marines down there to make it safe for the people who are living there. Not all the bad guys that have broken into the country. Anyway, I don't want to get into the technology or that sort of stuff, but God bless America. And we've got to save our country now and always. Right, Mary?
yes, sir.
Well, you've served in the military for years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Mary Stanley is one of the senior advisors in our Golden Rule Society charity. And when she came aboard, we looked at her background, all the things that she has done and is doing, and we said, Mary, please come aboard. Because as we have about maybe almost 24 senior advisors in our Golden Rule Society charity. And again, the joke is whenever one of them does something super duper, I say, I'm going to double your salary. And they all think of her for about a microsecond and say, Len, 2 times nothing is still nothing. But the point is, we're all dedicated to helping to make it a better world. And that goes back to the point when I graduated high school many years ago. I was ready to go out the door to go on to the Navy, and my mother stopped me with my bags and she said, Lenny, I want you to remember this. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind. And those 2 words are in my heart and my soul and my mind. And we're trying to live that now and always. And that's why we have so many success with the worldwide kindness campaign with from the Golden Rule Society. We've got the Hope for You, and this is the radio, just a show that goes to 97 countries. And I always jokingly tell people, I don't know who's listening, but I know who's talking. And what we're going to talk about is the things that will benefit you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, your charity, anybody in the world. And why not? Let's do that. And that's the kindness campaign. And Mary Stanley has some wonderful, wonderful things to brag about because her compliments are incredible. And I'm going to tell one story on you, Mary. We have the kindness clubs and the kindness programs. Well, one of her lovely children, her daughter, came home from school one day and she said, Mom, the kindness campaign is fine, but why don't we have in our classroom a kindness club? And Mary Stanley told that to me, and I said, I never thought of that. But what a wonderful thing. So now our goal is to have a kindness club in every classroom and every little school in every town and every state and the entire US of A. And if we're going to be there, we might as well be everywhere in the world because it goes like this with kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world. Simply treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And when you do that, basically what you're doing is you're sharing the love that your God gives you with others. And when you do it with a smile. Now that's the way it should be rather than arguing and fighting and carrying on. That makes no sense. And the nice part about it, the kindness clubs, they don't compete with the teachers in any way, shape, or form. The teachers are focused on teaching the children. But the kindness club just be along with one another. No arguments, no fights, just treat each other the way you want to be treated. And it's working marvelous. As a matter of fact, one of the items that we're so proud to announce to everybody, it wasn't just a week or so ago, we now are in over 1,000 schools. Can you imagine that? 1,000 schools have kindness clubs in them. And it's continued to grow. Why shouldn't it? It's all free, benefits everybody, nobody gets hurt, no pushing, no shoving, courtesy and kindness. It really works, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really works. And Mary, you are such a wonderful, wonderful person in that you're doing your time and your talent, not only with the Golden Rule Society charity, but with everybody that you touch. Your hometown and your state has recognized you as somebody extra special. And Mary, whatever you could like to share with us, I'm sure we all want to listen. And I'm just a guest here. So over to you, Mary. Thank you kindly.
You're never just a guest, sir. So the Kindness Club for Kids is not only in over 1,000 schools, but we are in over 100 churches in a modified program for faith-based organizations that can be modified for each individual faith. So we have a generic for all Christian-based faiths based off of Bible quotes and things like that, but it can be um, adjusted for the Muslim religion or particularly, Jehovah Witnesses or whatever religion you are. We have also branched into creating different faith study or faith programs with the Kindness Club for the neurodiverse individuals who a lot of churches are turning and adjusting some of their Sunday school programs for the autistic and neurodiverse communities. And so there is modified different techniques to go with that as well.
Mary, you keep on making it better all the time. Oh, wow. What a wonderful member of the organization, Mary. God bless you.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And what's great about it, Ms. Mary, is that you are opening the doors to altering. Not the word change sometimes sounds so hard, but you're altering what the patterns and the accepted way from the past to help children and young adults mature. You're helping them do that with less stressful. Well, maybe there's still stress, but you're relieving a lot of stress because some of the formal ways of dealing with children, that are, I think the word is spectrum, um,
Yep.
that are on the spectrum, that the old ways didn't work, number one, and they were stressful, and they actually hurt the self confidence. and the self awareness and the development of a child, or it kept a young adult back from being able to prosper in the community where they live. And you're making mighty changes in what was accepted or what was the methodology that just really failed people. So we're so proud of you because of that.
Thank you. And what a lot of people don't understand, and like Len, you'll understand this, is a lot of the ways that we used to, and we still do in many environments, treat kids with autism is very parallel and almost the same as how a soldier goes to boot camp and goes through military life. So think of, instead of taking that 18-year-old and putting them in boot camp and reprogramming them, we're doing the same thing to a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. And that's what needs to change. Kids need to be allowed to be a kid, to grow and develop. They don't need to be forced into training to learn how to be an adult.
Wonderful programs. Mary, you have added so much to the Golden Rule Society charity with all the other senior advisors as well. My, oh my. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I promised you that we have some gifts for you, and many gifts. And be sure to have a piece of paper handy, a pen or pencil, whatever you like. But one of the things that you should know about, because they're available for you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, and your charities, whoever you want to share it with. Because one of the nice things that I love to talk about is it can happen to me one day, almost unbeknownst. Doctor gave me a prescription drug, so I went to the drugstore. And the druggist, nice friend, good pal, and I said, are you a member of the kindness club that is giving you discounts on the prescription discount program? And he looked around and he said, Len, we are not a part of that, but he says across the street, a block or two down, there's a drugstore, and they have the discounts. They don't publicize it, and that's the situation for the people who are involved in this program. The prescription discount program. Savings are been told up to 85%, no, up to 80%. And that varies. I'm not saying that it comes all the time, but if they can give you a discount, all you have to do is ask your druggist. And if they say yes, they can say that, and you're going to be happy about it. If they don't say no, well, you might ask around and see if there's somebody that you might want to do business with that can give you discounts. If you can save you some money and keep you healthy, why not? And that's the nice part of it. These are the kind of people who are doing good things to help make it a better world. It's just marvelous. So you got to write that down and ask, because if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. We have other discounts as well. We have an organization that provides video emails, and there are different numbers of them, but our Golden Rule Society charity, when I want to communicate with somebody, I don't sit there and type a nice big long letter. I simply turn the click on, which is connected to the computer, and it's a little video, and I look and I smile and I talk to the people that I'm communicating with, and I send them a video email. I don't sell them anything, but we communicate, and they see my smile, they see my personality, and usually I'll give it to maybe a minute or two at most. But it's a personal communication with other people that you really want to touch base with, and it works fine. And by the way, I'm not selling it, but there's an expense on the thing, but hey, that's up to you. If you like to do that, give it a shot. If you don't, well, don't. But what you do is you visit our Golden Rule Society website, and here it is. Very reader. You know how you've heard this before. It's www.goldenrulesociety. That's all one word, no spaces. So it's goldenrulesociety.org, O-R-G. Simply means we're a charitable, non-profit, tax-exempt corporation for all these 63 years. And we're helping to make it a better world. And I know that talking about it, I don't know if it was mentioned earlier, but I only got 5 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize and was number 2 in the world in 2014. Wow, that's just being recognized. And I keep joking with people that it's nice to have all the awards, but they don't pay me anything. But that's just joking around. But that's available to you, and there you go. There's an organization called Who's Who in America, but it's also Who's Who in the USA and in the world. And the keynote speakers of the thing, dedication of the African American Veterans Monument. It's up in Buffalo, New York. Marvelous. Mr. Ron Clayton is so much a part of it that I was honored to be a guest speaker. And it was up there, and they had videos for the new people watching it on the televisions at home. And it just tugs at the heartstrings to know that, because you're talking to people that know how to help make them more successful, happy, all the good stuff. Because here it is in a nutshell. A kindness is never wasted. Never wasted. And there's a fellow that put that together many thousand years ago. His name was called Aesop. I don't know much more about him, but I love to tell that story. Kindness is never wasted. So wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, whatever you want to say, be kind. And that's the hope, the thing that my mother gave to me, and it's in my heart and soul and my mind. So you might as well pick up on it. There's so many other things that I could go on, and I've got a big one that will knock your socks off. And I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But Mary, can I switch it back over to you to share with whoever might be with us today? Please, over to you.
Sure. Always. So this is travel day. So Len, I have a question for you. What is your favorite form of travel now that you are a grounded civilian?
Well, I'm really not grounded because I used to do a lot of flying my own self. The Navy got it to me. As a matter of fact, when I graduated high school, I went to the Navy, and I took the exams when I got there because my goal was to go to the electronic school, and I wanted to learn about electronics. And after I finished that, when they discharged me, I was going to go to Penn State, get my degree, and I was going to go get a job with IBM and live happily ever after. Small problem. When I checked in, took the tests, and they said, hey, by the way, you've passed the test and you are in the organization and satisfaction. You have the opportunity to take the test to go to the Navy flight training to be a naval aviator. And I said, I hadn't really thought much about that at all. But I said, I guess I should take the test. I did. And the next thing I know, I was down there in Pensacola, Florida, and going to Navy flight training. And by the way, one of the fun things that I was doing when I was going through flight training, when I was a youngster, I was a professional musician. I played the clarinet and the saxophone. That was very nice. But the Navy said, hey, We go on weekday trips along with the Blue Angels. So I said, well, that does sound like fun. And whenever the Blue Angels were playing or entertaining and demonstrating in different cities throughout the country, and usually it was a different city, state, wherever it was, on a weekly basis, or however, it doesn't matter. So we would go along, and I would play the clarinet or the saxophone and the marching band. That was really fun to see all the people around, and we were entertaining them, and they loved it. I loved it. We all did. We had a good time, great together, and the Blue Angels really got to my attention. And later on in the Navy career, I spent 6 months as a Blue Angel pilot. And it was fun. And there are many other things, and I don't want you to think that I'm just sitting here bragging about things, but that's the nice thing, because you asked the question about what do you do if you don't go flying? Well, I'm going to continue flying, because here this morning I have a gentleman by the name of David Kane coming over, and he's our number one son. And he and his younger brother, Glenn, both retired when they finished college. They both joined the Navy. They went through flight training, and both of them were pilots in the Navy, and both of them are now airline captains. And our son David, he is an international camp pilot. He usually goes from San Diego, Los Angeles, all the way over to London town, or all the way down to the south of the border, as far as they go, to Australia. And he's coming over later this morning, and we're going to share some time together. But you asked about what do you do if we don't fly? Well, if I'm not flying the airplane myself, I can sit in the back and just enjoy going someplace that is going to get me to a place where I can enjoy. And that's the nice part about it. And I just don't want to be boring you with this, but that's the exciting part about it. Because everybody asks me, they say, how did you get both of your sons to go into the Navy? Because both our sons are 2 years apart, as I mentioned, and we said our prayers to the good Lord because we wanted a little girl in our life. Well, good Lord blessed us. He doubled up and gave us identical twin daughters. So we had 2 boys and 2 girls. And here's the problem. When you feed them on a day-to-day basis, what happens? They get grown up. And then they get grown up and they get gone. And that's what they do. They fall in love, they marry, move on by themselves. And just my wife Ann and I are looking around and say, we miss the kids. And we do. We love them all. We're close enough to stay in touch. That's the nice part about it. Love and share the good kindness with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, your charity. Do it all. But always be kind to one another. And that's what we're doing with the Golden Rule Society. The kindness campaign is going nationwide and worldwide. The number of states, as I mentioned, we do this show only to 97 countries. But along with the show and the radio, that aspect that they can listen, they can access our website and take advantage of all the things that I'm offering you. And again, I stress the point. We're not looking for your money. We do accept donations. We're legally, ethically, morally, we're responsible. Because people say, what you're doing is so good, and all the benefit comes from here. We want to make a donation, and we accept it. But what we get, we give, and we pay for our electricity bills and that sort of stuff. But we don't get paid, and we're not selling anything. But these are the opportunities for you and yours, and why not? Why not take advantage of it? Because it's very simple. Visit the website again, goldenrulesociety.org. And so many nice things. Wow, that's the nice part about it. And Mary just tugs at the heartstrings with all the wonderful things that she is doing and the recognition that she's receiving from her state, Minnesota. And I don't want to steal any thunder, but she is being recognized for the time and the talent and the courtesies and the kindness that she provides to everybody and their brother and their sisters. That's the magic of it, though. And that's the kindness campaign and Mary Standy with her kindness clubs and thousands and wise travelers. All those are wonderful, wonderful things. And Mary, I'm going to turn it back over to you. So I'm going to have a sip of my coffee and keep it going. And I'll jump in as soon as you turn it back over. God bless.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to do a little summary of what you're listening to. So, this is Optimize My Life. We're a live talk radio station, a channel with many different shows for many different things. So, as you're listening, today is Travel Tuesday. So, we talk about travel and different things that has to do with travel. On Monday mornings, it's Wake Up Reveille, which we talk about life for first responders, military, things like that, and how to transition out of that world into civilian world and things that are up and coming that affect veterans and soldiers. And then at noon is unmasking neurodiversity, and what we talk about at noon Eastern is all about neurodiversity and autism and how their brains are wired, how to overcome challenges, and just understanding at a different level the neurological differences of neurodiversity. Tuesday is Travel Tuesday. On Wednesday is Health and Wellness. And we have a certified nutritionist dietitian who comes and talks about healthy, practical ways to increase your health that is accommodating to everyone's lifestyle. It's not super fancy, it's just things that you can do at home naturally to eat and live better. Thursday is Hometown Heroes, and we highlight organizations and individuals who make the world a better place. Wednesday night and Friday night is Cracking the Spectrum, where we talk with a individual who's a coach and a father of a nonverbal autistic child who and how to understand life and what the stresses that parents go through and caretakers go through on a daily basis. And Friday is Captain Len Kane and his show about the Golden Rule Society, about kindness, and just about how to be a better citizen. And finally, on Saturdays is our weekend review with Linda, and she goes over some of the shows from the week before and what to expect next week, and then some fun facts and things going on based on what's that week. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it covered really well, Mary. We certainly appreciate that. Every week we have things going on at the Hope Collection. Right now, we're exploring. We've been approached by an organization. First of all, because of our relationship with Intiva Health, which Captain Len Kane brought to the Golden Rule Society and the Hope Collection. He brought this organization to us. They are right now recognized in the world as the number one supplier of pharmaceutical grade organic gummy material that they're making gummy bear vitamins and food supplements and swallow chewable pills that people take from their doctors. Uh, Whole Foods, the grocery store, uses Antiva for their production of their things that they sell that use gummy base. CVS drugstores also use all their pharmaceutical products that utilize this product that's become cutting edge in helping people swallow. When I had my stroke, one of the problems that had tied to it is my swallowing. I got pills. I've got four of them sitting next to me on the TV counter right now. And I'm telling you, I could cut this pill in half to get it down my throat. And I got a dish of applesauce. Well, they could take this pharmaceutical and put it in a gummy bear, and I could swallow it. I could chew it and swallow it. So this is cutting edge, and we're right on the cutting edge of it. And one of the companies that supplies and supports materials so that you can get better pharmaceuticals. And we all talk about how in the last 30 years the politicians and the corporations have sold out and they've taken many of their work manufacturing to China. Well, Antiva Health is a Houston-based company. They have manufacturing sites in Phoenix, Arizona. In fact, Lena's going out there in a couple of months. They're going to dedicate a new plant, multi-million square foot manufacturing facility. Well, because of our presence, the Golden Rule Society, Antiva Health, and Health Collection, our relationship and our impact in the marketplace. I remember last month, President Trump went to the Middle East, and he went to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Dubai and the United Emirates. Well, there's a company in Dubai that's called 90s, and 90s is a manufacturer of pharmaceuticals. They have opened a door where we're exploring. We're exploring right now, working up in to help expand the ability to produce more pharmaceuticals in the United States and return it to us. And they want to partner with us. So it's in the works, and I'm just sharing with people to let them know that Optimize My Life, Antiva Health, and the Golden Rule Society on the cutting edge, helping make this a better world.
Oh, Ron, you nailed nails on the head. And ladies and gentlemen, to add a little bit more to that, there's a little history that goes on. How did it start? Well, when I was a Navy fighter pilot as an instructor, I was busy putting together what we call a tactics program because too many aircraft were getting shot down. So what I was working on, and they gave it a nickname. It was called Kane Air Tactics. Or they simply gave it the nickname. They call it the CAT program, Kane Air Tactics. And basically, in a nutshell, it was a three-dimensional maneuvering, back and forth, up and down, here and there. And what we did, put it together, and we found out that as I said, a world record flying 6 different airplanes in air combat maneuvering in 2 days. That was here in the U.S. of A. And I was scheduled for a 7th aircraft, but I said I can't do the 7th one, pulling so many G's out. If I get up there and try to fly it again, I'll probably black out and crash or burn. But anyway, the 6 airplanes in 2 days, they ended up saying that's a U.S. Navy record. And wouldn't you know, and years later, an organization called the Hope for You, which Mr. Ron Clayton is now the current president, they investigated it, and it's a world record. 6 different airplanes in 2 days. But here's the point about it. Using those tactics, we went into combat. We're flying over Vietnam. So I'm a fighter pilot. I'm up at high altitudes. And who's down on the ground? The Marines of the U.S. of A. Well, that's fine. You never see them, you never know them. But years later, after I retired from the Navy and went on to be an airline captain for another quarter of a century, the thought was from one of our senior advisors who was a Marine, and he was retired. He's also an attorney. And he said, Len, you got to get yourself all the way down to Texas. And I said, what's going on in Texas? He says, you've got to meet this gentleman. And he's medically retired from the Marines, going to college. So I said, okay, I'll do it. All the good guidance of one of our senior advisors. His name is Jim Kyle is his name. So we went down and met Mr. Alexander Candelario. Tall, handsome gentleman, medically retired, as I said, but as sharp as a tack. Brilliant guy, really. So I said, okay, I was told, come down here and meet him. And be chatting with him and talking to him and seeing what he's doing. And I said, this is incredible. What you're up to. The tactics and the technology was unbelievable. And I said, what do you call your little organization here? And he says, we call it the Intiva program. I said, okay, what's Intiva? It stands for Information Technology, new, all the good stuff, technology and informational, audio, videos. Oh, that was his short. But anyway, I said, this is incredible. We have to put this into business. So what I did, I funded, put together, and we made it a corporation. So Intiva became a corporation, and the expansion and the growth of Intiva has just gone beyond all expectations. And long story short, just about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, Antiva Health is selected and named the #1 organization in the world supporting the medical industry. #1 in the world. That's exponential. It's just unbelievable. And the next month or the month after that, my wife Ann and I, we live in California, across the bridge from San Diego. We're going to go to Arizona. And Ann and I are going to be there to help raise the flag on the third manufacturing plant for Intiva Health. And the new plant is only 5 times bigger than the previous 2 plants put together. And it's just magical. And you see what's going on. And my wife Ann and I, we wake up in the morning and say, wonder how many more lives we saved today. Because, as I said, the growth is incredible worldwide, saving lives and keeping people from suffering. And the doctors and the nurses, the hospitals, they're all using the tactics and all the scientific replacements or everything that people that they can take to take away the pain and the suffering and keep them alive. Like I say, it tugs at the heartstrings, ladies and gentlemen, and I feel very, very, very proud of it. But what you have to do is, and I do this all the time when I meet a doctor or a nurse or somebody in the medical building, I said, hi, how familiar are you with the Intiva Health Program? And they all seem to say, oh, yes, I've heard of it. I said, have you visited the site at least? Well, not really. I haven't had time. I said, do yourself a favor. And I invite them to go visit. I gave it to you before, goldenrulesociety.org. That's our website. And you'll find Antiva Health on the site. And the doctors usually come back maybe 3 or 4 days later and say, Len, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? Because I'm happy to tell you. And the world keeps learning about it all the time. But some people learn slower than others, obviously. But ladies and gentlemen, we're giving you all of these wonderful opportunities to share with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, or your charity. And we offer things such as this when we put the Golden Rule Society together. a charity. And what I did was, with the senior advisors that we had, I put together what we call the golden dollar. And it's the size of a dollar bill. And it's printed nicely. And one side of the dollar bill is called the Action Plan for Living. And with the beautiful input of all these brilliant people, if when we tell people, here's the guarantee. If you follow the teachings of history's most successful people, you're going to be more successful in your life. It just makes sense. And that's just for living your life. How to be kind, how to get along, how to be, rather than fighting and arguing with people. And on the other side of the golden dollar is an action plan for business. How to be successful in business. Why make the mistakes that have already been made? Because these people have been there. They've seen it. They've done it. They know this, that, and the other. So that's the what we call the golden rule society. But of course, they gave it a nickname as well. They call it the lucky buck. As you know, the dollar bill is called a $1. But anyway, I let people know that it is free to you. Anybody that's interested, all you have to do is send a stamped, self-addressed envelope. And some people always they want to put a couple dollars in there just to pay for it, but it's free. But they send it the stamped, self-addressed envelope. We open up your envelope and find, and when we put the lucky buck in there, on one side, action plan for living. On the other side, an action plan for business. And we just send it back to you. And I always jokingly tell people, I'd give you a money back guarantee that you're going to be successful. But I can't give you a money back guarantee because it's all free. But again, as I say, people insist on putting donations in there just to keep us going, which I think makes sense because if we get a million people wanting one of these lucky bucks, it's expensive and we don't get paid. So people have to wait a little longer. So when they send their money, the donation in, well, they get their lucky buck right back and they get their success and their happiness straight away. All they have to do is follow the teachings of history's most successful people. And I seem like I'm selling something or going on with all the activities. But ladies and gentlemen, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And I don't want to take all the time, but I'd like to turn it over to our host, Mary Stanley, with all the wonderful courtesy and the kindness that you provide. Keep it going, my dear. And I've got a meeting here in just a few more minutes. So, Mary and Ron and everybody that has been listening, please take advantage of everything that you've heard. Because if you want to be more successful in your life and happy in your life, and who wouldn't want that? Let's get together and help make it a better world. It's the Golden Rule Society. God bless now and always. Oh, I get the address for you to send the stamped self-addressed. Oh, forgive me. It's Golden Rule Society, Post Office Box 711, and that is in Coronado, California. Coronado, Coronado, California, 92118. And all I do, like I say, I just take it and send you the free gift. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mary, with all the word of respect and admiration that you really earned and deserve. So, Ron, Mary, everybody that's listening, God bless. I got to go. Somebody's coming to visit. Bye bye for
Thank
now.
you, sir. See you on Friday.
Thank you, Mary, and thanks everyone that participated today. And we know we have a bunch of people that called in. We look forward. You can get connected with us at our websites, which is thegoldenrulesociety.org, and or the Hope Collection and the hopecollection.com. And you can register at both sites to become join us as a free member. And it just lets you know, and we'll be opening more ways for you to take advantage of programs as we grow and go forward. Thank you, Mary, for arranging this and running this today.
Always. Before we leave, I want to circle back to Intiva Health for a minute. So, now Intiva Health isn't only just for doctors and medical providers, it is available for the everyday person. And the one thing I love about, and I use it personally, is that it has fact based, true research. So, when you're looking for information, autism, for instance, go to Intiva Health and it will give you the latest, most up to date, real research on particular medical things without the conspiracies, the not without the fillers, without the crap. It is actual, legitimate, real research.
That is wonderful.
Which is why I know so much about what I know. I live on that site.
They've become an important ally in the world of health for folks and children and adults that are looking for, really, I guess it's called solutions. And not only solutions, but ways of making life better. You do it so well.
Thank you, sir. All right. I got to run. I'm getting pulled away by a little monster.
Hi, little monster. Hi, David.
All right, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And bye for now. Just hold your breath. Take a breath. Just give Mom a minute. Larry, straight. Hurry. I will. Just give Mom a minute.